Donald Trump is now planning a more than $100 million military parade to celebrate his 79th birthday this June, while simultaneously firing tens of thousands of employees from the VA, making veteran healthcare worse and harder to get in the process. So the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, is telling us as a nation that we cannot afford to give veterans the high-quality healthcare that they were promised when they signed their name on the dotted line and put their life on the line for us. He's saying we can't afford that. We don't have enough money for that. But we do have enough money to throw a $100 million military parade for his enjoyment. And yeah, I know before any Trump supporter comes into my mentions, I know that Trump is planning on claiming that this parade is in honor of the 250th anniversary of the Army. But that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit. And the reason we all know that's bullshit is because top Army officials were asked about their plans to celebrate, to commemorate that anniversary. And they did not have any plans for a parade. Trump wanted a parade for his birthday. And so his people went and found an excuse to do so. And this is the same exact parade, by the way, that Trump wanted to throw in 2018 and was stopped by Pentagon officials who made it very clear this is an absurd thing to want to do. The cost of this is astronomical and a huge waste of money. Even back in 2018, it was going to cost $92 million for the Pentagon to arrange all of the military elements of this parade. And then it was going to cost the city of DC $22 million to repair all of the roads, the 4 miles of roads that would be completely torn up by driving tanks down them. And the only reason that he wanted that parade in the first place back in 2018 is because he had visited France when they were commemorating Bastille Day and they had a military parade. He could not stand the thought of another country having a military parade and him not getting one himself. We're going to spend $100 million on the demands of the petulant child that we've put in the White House because he can't stand to see another country have a toy that he doesn't get. But meanwhile, we're going to tell veterans, sorry, if you're feeling like you are moments away from taking your own life and you call the Veteran Crisis Hotline, you might not be able to reach anyone because we fired all those people. Sorry, if you're a veteran that has brain cancer because you were exposed to toxic chemicals in a burn pit in Afghanistan, you may not be able to get all your benefits or navigate the system because we fired all the people that were hired to help veterans navigate benefits as a result of the PACT Act. Sorry, we just don't have enough money as a country to help you, veterans who are now dying of diseases caused directly because of their service to this nation. We just can't afford to help you. We can't afford to hold up our end of the bargain when you signed your name on that dotted line to put your life on the line for us. We can't hold up our end of the bargain now because we have to put that money towards making sure that the Commander-in-Chief gets his military parade. I don't know how anyone defends this. Even if you are a Trump supporter, I don't know how you defend this and live with yourself. I don't know how you defend this and then still claim that you support the troops. Because no, you don't. Absolutely not. No, you do not. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic.
Okay, so we've spent all this money on Doge and on Musk, rooting out fraud, rooting out money that shouldn't be spent in the government and waste. But we're willing to spend millions of dollars on a military parade that just so happens to fall on the felon's birthday. See, Don the Con's birthday happens to be on Flag Day, so apparently we're going to waste $100 million during what is likely going to be a recession, so he can have a military parade. Make that make fucking sense.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I came across this on my FYP and I tend to share. So Trump is planning a military parade, okay, for his birthday, and America will be spending a lot of money if this happens. And I'm just here wondering, why then did Doge say they were recovering money? Because if you're recovering money, that money should be put into something better, right? Into funding a lifestyle, into funding something. But instead, they laid off a lot of people only for them to use this money for God knows what, okay? Only for them to plan using this money for a military parade. I don't get it. Anyway, guys, I have some clips which I'm just going to let roll. Okay, let's listen to what these creators have to say about all of this, because it's very funny that you recovered money today. The next minute, you want to spend almost all those money to do a military parade. Let's go listen to these creators, then we come back with our commentary. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Do what, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. And credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch, then I come back with my commentary.
Call me crazy, but I don't think we should be spending $92 million on a military parade to honor a draft dodger, while we've got veterans in this country who can't even afford basic healthcare, food, or housing. Like, seriously, guys, what are we doing? McDonald Trump wants tanks rolling down the street. He wants fighter jets to fly overhead. He wants the kind of spectacle that you would see in an authoritarian regime. Not to honor veterans, but to glorify himself. And let's just be honest. What has McDonald Dump actually done for veterans? He dodged the draft 5 times. He mocked POWs. He called those who died in war suckers and losers. He tried to defund programs that help veterans get health care, and yet somehow he wants to stand on stage surrounded by soldiers like he's some kind of frickin' hero. That's not patriotism. That's performance. If you really care about our troops, if you actually respect veterans, you don't throw them a parade once a year while ignoring their needs the other 364 days. You get them access to doctors. You make sure they're not sleeping in tents. You make sure they're not rationing medication or skipping meals because they can't afford both. You don't throw a parade for a man who wouldn't even serve and who has done next to nothing to serve the people who did. So, yeah, call me crazy, but maybe we should take that $92 million and actually spend it on the people who earned it.
Well, I hear dear leader wants to have a military parade, and he wants to have it in June in honor of his birthday. I don't know why he doesn't just take D-Day and rename it the Donald Day. I mean, he has such low regard for the suckers and the losers in the military, as he once put it. Yeah, just take that observance. They won't mind. I can understand why the Donald would want to have a military parade. You know, guys like him, guys who are perhaps a little under-endowed, if you know what I mean. Usually they just go out and buy big pickup trucks, but you can't have the President of the United States driving around in a lifted Dodge Ram. You just can't do it. It's not seemly. So what do? You have a military parade. And there are lots of other world leaders, just like the Donald, who have had military parades in the past. I mean, look at Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, you know, the guy who unalived millions and millions of people, sent millions of others to the gulag. Sometimes he'd let them out of jail so that they could come to work for him, and then if he didn't like the work they were doing, he'd throw them back in the gulag or unalive them. Yeah, he was very fond of military parades. And then, of course, there's Kim Jong-un, fearless leader of North Korea, who once had an uncle unalived with an anti-aircraft gun. Wow, imagine what Thanksgiving was like in that household. And then, of course, there was good old Saddam Hussein. You remember Saddam Hussein, don't you? He used to stand at his military parades and shoot his sidearm. Wow, I hear he did the same thing at Keggers. And then, of course, there was Il Duce, Benito Mussolini himself, who would stand up at the podium with his arms crossed and his bottom lip poking out. You know, I think the Donald has been taking style tips from him. But of course, who could forget the grandfather of all military paraders, the funny little mustache man from Austria, the one who unalived millions of people during World War II. He loved a good military parade. So as you can see, the Donald is in good company. And I can understand why somebody of his lack of stature might want to have a military parade. I'm surprised he hasn't asked the Treasury to strike a coin in his image. Oh dear, I hope I haven't given him any ideas.
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration is in early stages of putting on a massive military parade in Washington, D.C. on none other than June 14th, which is Donald Trump's 79th birthday. It's also the 250th anniversary of the establishment of the United States Army. Now remember, during the first Trump administration, Donald Trump had sought a similar military parade in Washington, D.C., but that was nixed because of the price of the parade. Estimates suggested it could cost 10, 20, 30, somewhat over $90 million. Now, the preliminary discussions have the parade starting around Arlington National Cemetery, heading all the way to the White House. It's about a 4-mile parade length. It's unclear exactly how much money this parade will cost, but it's definitely going to cost probably at least $10 million, if not more. Remember, this is just early stages, so nothing is official yet, but Donald Trump could be giving himself a nice birthday present with a military parade. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so be sure to subscribe for free and follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'm sure there'll be more to come very soon.
The same people who feel that veterans are just lazing about and doing nothing in those offices, then they decide to cut off lot of their benefits, cut off, stop them, lay some of them off, and just do things as if they don't care about these people. Now they want the same people to come to parade. Like you want a mass parade, military parade, and you're going to be spending how much again? Over 92 million USD for a parade on your birthday. So why in God's name did we save all of this money for? What was all that money that Doge was saving for? all that money that Doge was saying that, oh, we doing this for the economy, we have to help cut short, waste from the government so that the government don't have to spend so much on what is not needed. Some of these workers are not needed and all that. Some of them are not doing anything in the offices. To think that you MAGA supported it and right now is in your faces, how then are you guys going to defend all of this? 92 million is a lot of money to spend on a military parade when they can no longer afford health care. Most veterans cannot afford health care, they cannot afford basic needs, and now you are spending this on a military parade. Why not use this money to invest in their life, help some of them out? Some people who do not even have home, they don't have a place to stay. Some of them are going through mental health issues. Why don't you do that? Why in God's name are we spending this money for something like a parade on your birthday?
In a normal, sane world, this would be enough to make absolutely every single Trump supporter, MAGA, diehard cult member absolutely furious. But we live in this hellscape. Because you know what their dear Fuhrer wants now? Kim Jong-Orange wants to spend $92 million on a military parade on his birthday, honoring himself. Because he's so important. And everybody better bring a cake and a present! He's been obsessed with the idea of having one of these ever since he saw one in France and since he saw that they do it in North Korea. And after all of his bullshit talk about getting rid of wasteful spending in the government, he wants to spend $92 million on a military parade for himself. This bloviating sack of dog shit wants to spend nearly $100 million to stroke his own ego. And unfortunately, the city of DC is apparently going to kowtow to him, out of fears that the administration is going to follow through on their threats to take over the local government. He also set up a federal task force on DC crime fighting that does not include a single local official, which is just him interfering in how the city runs. Which will now include a completely pointless and wasteful parade spending millions of dollars from the local and federal coffers, despite claims that his administration is all about eliminating waste and fraud and abuse. This is not only sad and pathetic because of how fragile his ego is, and after all the years of us having to put up with this toddler who has the IQ of a dead squid, while he says he's going to eliminate wasteful spending in the government, and the stock market and the economy are going straight down the damn toilet, he wants to spend $100 million on a military parade for his birthday. How does this make America great again, MAGA? Because right now, I'm really fucking embarrassed for you.
So you mean to tell me this draft-dodging, veteran-insulting whore wants a military parade for his birthday in D.C.? The man that just chose to go golfing instead of being at the airport when the bodies of 4 soldiers came back. That guy. The guy that is so disgraceful and knows deep down that he's a coward and could never be the man that John McCain is, had to insult him because he was too fucking scared to go and do what John McCain did. That guy, that's the guy they want to give a military parade for. The guy that already has a fucking fake Purple Heart. All this fucking phony bullshit to try to make this guy feel better about himself when deep down, all the things he did with Jeffrey Epstein and ripping St. Jude's Hospital off and accusing people like the Central Park Five and being wrong, wanting them to die and be sentenced to death. All the disgraceful shit he feels in his fucking body. This is why we got to do bullshit like this. Because we have a pathetic shit stain in the Oval Office. And now he wants a military parade, like some bullshit you'd see in fucking North Korea. And you pathetic son of a bitches that want to boost him up and keep doing this kind of bullshit, like the fucking $100 bill with his face on it and his ugly mug on Mount Rushmore and making his fucking birthday a holiday. Are you fucking kidding me? Why don't y'all just go give the Nobel Peace Prize to fucking Putin? You ass backward clowns. We are the biggest disgrace in this fucking world right now.
Come to think of it, some of the soldiers that came back, no, he wasn't there. He wasn't there to welcome their bodies when he was returned. He didn't stay there. He didn't come to the airport to do any of that. Instead, he chose to go golfing. And that got the MAGA world so angry because he affected them directly. It got them very, very upset. And yet, he needs a military parade. I just want to ask a question, like, Is it that these people cannot say no if it comes to them? Is it something that they will say, oh, we're going to do it against all odds? Even when a lot of them are being laid off, it seems like a lot of them are feeling it even more than those civilians themselves. But I feel so sad that this is happening to them. This is coming back home. But I hope something is done. Like, I hope he tries as much as possible to look within and say that this money is too much to spend just on a parade. Instead, use this money to help veterans that you and mocks have taken their jobs away from. See how you can impact their life positively. Some of them are going through tough times at this time. Find a way to restore their dignity, restore hope, keep hope alive for these people. Well, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Let's have that conversation. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.